Welcome to IG Academy. In this lesson, we'll explore the structure, question types, and strategies of the IELTS Reading General Test to help you develop the key skills needed for success. What's in the IELTS General Training Reading Paper? There are 3 sections of increasing difficulty. Section 1 may contain 2 or 3 short texts or several shorter texts. Section 2 contains 2 texts. In Section 3, there is 1 long text. The texts in Section 1 deal with everyday topics, and they are the sort of texts that a person would need to be able to understand when living in an English-speaking country. You will need to pick out important information, for example, from notices, advertisements, and timetables. The texts in Section 2 focus on work topics, for example, job descriptions, contracts, staff development, and training materials. The text in Section 3 deals with a topic of general interest. The style of writing in Section 3 is generally descriptive, which means it contains detailed information, and instructive, telling you how to do something. This Section 3 text is longer and more complex than the texts in Sections 1 and 2. Section 3 texts are taken from newspapers, magazines, books, and online resources. You will need to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. You must transfer your answers during the hour you are given for the reading test. Unlike the listening test, no extra transfer time is given. You should be careful when writing your answers on the answer sheet because you will lose marks for incorrect spelling and grammar. The total time allowed for IELTS reading is 60 minutes, including transfer time. The number of sections is 3, the total text length is 2,150 to 2,750 words. The number of questions is 40. Each correct answer receives 1 mark. Your final score is given as a band score from 1 to 9 in whole or half bands, for example, 5 or 6.5. What are the types of questions in IELTS academic reading? Reading question type 1 is multiple choice. This type of question may be a question with 4 possible answers or the first half of a sentence with 4 possible sentence endings. You have to choose 1 correct answer, A, B, C, or D, then write the correct answer on the answer sheet. Sometimes you are given a longer list of possible answers and you have to choose more than 1 answer. You should read the question carefully to check how many answers you need to choose. The questions are in the same order as the information in the text, that is, the answer to the first question will be before the answer to the second question, and so on. This type of question tests many different reading skills including detailed understanding of specific points or general understanding of the main points of the text. The number of questions is variable. Reading question type 2 is identifying information, which is true, false, or not given. In this type of question, you are given a number of statements and are asked, do the following statements agree with the information in the text? You have to write true, false, or not given in the boxes on your answer sheet. It is important to understand the difference between false and the not given. False means that the statement contradicts the information in the text. Not given means that the statement neither agrees with nor contradicts the information in the text. You must be careful not to use any information you already know about the topic of the text when choosing your answer. This type of question tests your ability to recognize specific information given in the text. The number of questions is variable. Academic reading question type 3 is identifying a writer's views or claims, which is yes, no, or not given. In this type of question, you are given a number of statements and asked, do the following statements agree with the views of the writer, or do the following statements agree with the claims of the writer? You have to write yes, no, or not given in the boxes on your answer sheet. It is important to understand the difference between no and the not given. No means that the statement contradicts the writer's view or claim. Not given means that the statement neither agrees with nor contradicts the writer's view or claim. You must be careful not to use any information you already know about the topic of the text when choosing your answer. This type of question tests your ability to recognize opinions or ideas. The number of questions is variable. Reading question type 4 is matching information. In this type of question, you have to find specific information in the paragraphs or sections of a text. The paragraphs or sections are identified by letters A, B, C, etc. You will need to write the letters of the correct paragraphs or sections in the boxes on your answer sheet. Not every paragraph or section may be used, and some paragraphs or sections may be used more than once. When the paragraphs or sections may be used more than once, the instructions will say, you may use any letter more than once. This type of question assesses your ability to scan a text in order to find specific information. Unlike task type 5, matching headings, it focuses on specific information rather than the main idea. You may have to find specific details, an example, reason, description, comparison, summary, or explanation. The number of questions is variable. Reading question type 5 is matching headings. In this type of question, there is a list of headings which are identified by Roman numerals. A heading summarizes the main idea of a paragraph or section of the text. You must match the heading to the correct paragraph or section. The paragraphs or sections are identified by letters A, B, C, etc. You will need to write the correct Roman numerals in the boxes on your answer sheet. There will always be more headings than paragraphs or sections, so some headings will not be used. It is also possible that some paragraphs or sections may not be included in the task. One or more paragraphs or sections may already be matched with a heading as an example on the question paper. No heading may be used more than once. This type of question tests your ability to identify the general topic of a paragraph or section and to recognize the difference between the main idea and a supporting idea. The number of questions is variable. Reading question type 6 is matching features. In this type of question, you have to match a set of statements or pieces of information to a list of options. The options are a group of features from the text, and letters A, B, C, etc. are used to identify them. Write the correct letter on the answer sheet. You may, for example, have to match descriptions of inventions to the people who invented them. It is possible that some options will not be used, and that others may be used more than once. When it is possible to use any option more than once, the instructions will say, you may use any option more than once. This type of question tests your ability to recognize relationships and connections between facts in the text and your ability to recognize opinions and theories. You need to be able to skim and scan the text to find the information quickly so that you can then read that part more carefully for detail. The number of questions is variable. Reading question type 7 is matching sentence endings. In this type of question, you are given the first half of a sentence based on information in the text, and you have to choose the best way to complete the sentence by choosing from a list of possible endings. The endings are identified by letters A, B, C, etc. There will be more sentence endings than beginnings, so you will not use all of them. You must write the letter you choose on the answer sheet. The sentence beginnings are in the same order as the information in the text. This type of question tests your ability to understand the main ideas in the text. The number of questions is variable. Reading question type 8 is sentence completion. In this type of question, you have to fill in a gap in each sentence by choosing words from the text. You must write the words you choose on the answer sheet. You should read the instructions very carefully as the number of words or numbers you may use to fill the gaps can change. A word limit is given, for example, no more than 2 words and/or a number. You will lose the mark for writing more than the word limit. Contracted words such as there will not be tested. Hyphenated words such as check-in count as single words. The questions are in the same order as the information in the text. This type of question tests your ability to find detailed or specific information in a text. The number of questions is variable. Reading question type 9 is summary, note, table, or flowchart completion. In this type of question, you are given a summary of a part of the text, and have to complete it using words taken from the text. Note that the summary is not normally of the whole text. The summary may be in the form of a continuous text called a summary in the instructions, several notes called notes in the instructions, a table with some parts of it left empty or partially empty called a table in the instructions, a series of boxes or steps linked by arrows to show the order of events, with some of the boxes or steps empty or partially empty, called a flow chart in the instructions. The answers may not come in the same order as in the text. However, they will usually come from one part of the text rather than the whole text. There are two variations of this task type. In the first variation, you need to select words from the text which fit into gaps on the question paper. You must write the words you choose on the answer sheet. You should read the instructions very carefully as the number of words or numbers you may use to fill the gaps can change. A word limit is given, for example, no more than 2 words and/or a number. You will lose the mark for writing more than the word limit. In the second variation, you have to choose from a list of words to fill the gaps. The words are identified by letters A, B, C, etc. You must write the letter you choose on the answer sheet. This type of question tests your ability to understand details and/or the main ideas of a part of the text. When completing this type of question, you will need to think about the type of word or words that will fit into a gap, for example, whether a noun is needed, or a verb, etc. The number of questions is variable. Reading question type 10 is diagram label completion. In this type of question, you have to complete the labels on a diagram. The diagram is based on a description given in the text. The diagram may be a type of machine, part of a building, or of other information in the text that can be shown through pictures. Write the words that fit into the gap on the answer sheet. You should read the instructions very carefully as the number of words or numbers you may use to fill the gaps can change. A word limit is given, for example, no more than 2 words and/or a number. You will lose the mark for writing more than the word limit. Contracted and hyphenated words count as single words. The answers may not come in the same order as in the text. However, they will usually come from one part of the text rather than the whole text. This type of question tests your ability to understand a detailed description in the text and then relate that description to information given in a diagram. The number of questions is variable. Reading question type 11 is short answer questions. In this type of question, you have to answer questions about factual details in the text. You must write your answers in words or numbers on the answer sheet. Answers must be taken from words in the text. A word limit is given, for example, no more than 2 words and/or a number. You will lose the mark for writing more than the word limit. Numbers can be written using figures or words. Contracted and hyphenated words count as single words. The answers come in the same order as the information in the text. This type of question tests your ability to find and understand specific information in the text. The number of questions is variable. All answers in the IELTS academic reading test must be written directly onto the answer sheet within the 60-minute time limit. Unlike the listening test, no extra time is given for transferring answers, so it is essential to manage your time carefully. Accuracy in spelling and grammar is also important, as incorrect entries can result in lost marks. In the IELTS General Reading Test, there are 3 sections that increase in difficulty. Section 1 includes 2 or 3 short texts related to everyday life, such as notices, advertisements, and timetables, requiring you to scan for key details like dates and times. Section 2 focuses on workplace settings, featuring texts like job descriptions and training materials, and tests your ability to extract specific and implied information. Section 3 presents a single, longer and more complex text of general interest, written in a descriptive or instructive style, demanding deeper comprehension and analysis. All answers in the IELTS academic reading test must be written directly onto the answer sheet within the 60-minute time limit. Unlike the listening test, no extra time is given for transferring answers, so it is essential to manage your time carefully. Accuracy in spelling and grammar is also important, as incorrect entries can result in lost marks. The IELTS Academic Reading Test includes 11 different question types designed to assess a wide range of reading skills. Multiple choice questions require you to select one or more correct answers from given options and test both general understanding and specific detail. Identifying information questions ask you to decide if statements are true, false, or not given, focusing on recognizing explicit facts in the text. Identifying the writer's views or claims involves determining whether statements agree with the author's opinions, distinguishing opinions from facts. Matching information questions require you to match specific details to the corresponding sections of the text, assessing your ability to scan and locate information. Matching headings tasks involve linking summary headings to paragraphs, testing your recognition of main ideas versus supporting details. Matching features asks you to connect items such as ideas or people to their descriptions, assessing your ability to track relationships. Matching sentence endings requires you to complete sentence beginnings by selecting appropriate endings, testing your understanding of main ideas in sequence. Sentence completion tasks involve filling in gaps with words or numbers from the text, demanding precise detail extraction. Summary, note, table, or flowchart completion requires filling in missing information to complete summaries or diagrams, testing your grasp of structure, detail, and main ideas. Diagram label completion involves labeling parts of a diagram based on textual descriptions, testing your ability to interpret information visually. Lastly, short answer questions ask for brief responses to factual questions, assessing your ability to quickly extract specific information in order. The IELTS Academic Reading Test evaluates a variety of essential reading skills. These include skimming the text to grasp the main ideas and scanning for specific details. Candidates must be able to distinguish between fact and opinion, understand logical arguments, and accurately handle different question formats. Additionally, managing time effectively and transferring answers correctly within the strict time limits are critical skills for success in this test. Effective time management is crucial in the IELTS Academic Reading Test, as you have 60 minutes to complete all tasks and transfer your answers directly onto the answer sheet without any opportunity for changes afterward. Paying close attention to spelling and grammar is important because errors can result in lost marks. Careful reading is also essential, especially when distinguishing between similar answer choices such as not given and false. Additionally, you must adhere strictly to the word limit specified in completion tasks to avoid losing points. The IELTS Academic Reading Paper tests a broad range of reading skills through diverse text types and question formats. Success hinges on understanding the test format, effective reading strategies, accurate answers, and attention to detail, all within a tight, 60-minute window. Stay focused, practice regularly, and you'll do great. IG Academy wishes you the best of luck on your IELTS journey.